IELTS essay writing. So by way of foundation, for those of you who are not familiar with IELTS, or those of you who are new in this class, when it comes to IELTS writing, there are two things that you would be expected to do. Two things, okay? The first one is that you are going to write a report. Okay, you are going to write a what? You are going to write a report. So individuals who are preparing for IELTS academic, they will write a report, or you will write a letter. So if you are taking IELTS general, you are going to write a letter. Okay, general. That is for people who are taking IELTS general will write a letter. People who are taking IELTS academic will write a report. Academic, they will write a report. That is the first thing that you would do, or we call it task 1. Then the second thing that you would do is essay. Okay, essay. This one is called task 2. So whether you are doing academic or general, you will write an essay. Okay, if you are doing academic or you are doing general, IELTS general, you write a word, you write an essay. So for your essay, there are different types of essays that can show up in your exam. Any one of these different types of essays can show up. You have what you call cause and effect essay. That's one type. You have what you call cause and solution essay. That's another type. You have what you call advantage, disadvantage essay. Okay? You have what you call opinion essay. Okay? You have opinion essay. You have what you call discussion essay. You have what you call double question essay. Now, there's one that I did not write here. I like to call it outweigh essay. You have what you call outweigh essay. Okay, I'm going to show you examples of all these types of essays very soon, don't worry. So those are the different types of, any one of them can come out in your exam. But the pattern and strategy that you need to follow when it comes to writing those essay types, I'm going to show you in a moment. So the first I want you to keep in mind is that what, for essay writing, you can have any of these different types of essays. The second thing I want to emphasize is that when it comes to task 2 essay writing, okay, your essay should have 3 major components. How many components? 3. Okay, the first component is what we call the introduction. Okay, components of a good essay. Let's write it down. Components of a good essay. Components of a good essay. Number 1 is called introduction. This introduction is usually 1 paragraph that contains 3 or 4, or let's say 2, 3, or 4 sentences. That's what you have in your word, in your introduction. That's the first component. The second component is what we call the main body. This one can contain 2 or 3 paragraphs, each containing 3 to 6 sentences. That's what we call the main body. And then the final part of our essay is what we call the conclusion. This one is 1 paragraph containing 2 or 3 sentences. So these are the 3 components of a good essay. The first component is the introduction. If somebody says, I am struggling with essay, that complaint is too general. You need to be specific with your complaint. Okay, which part of the essay are you struggling with? Are you struggling with introduction writing? Or are you struggling with the main body? Or are you struggling with the conclusion? Which one are you struggling with? Okay? Are you struggling? I know there's another thing that some people struggle with that is not on this list. I call it generating ideas. Are you struggling with generating ideas for your essay? So you need to be specific what you are struggling with. How are you struggling with grammar? Some people say, I'm struggling with coming up with the right words or how to write proper sentences. Okay, so are you struggling with that? So you need to be clear about what you are struggling with, and you need to have evidence. If you have not written an essay that has been assessed, you can't really say you are struggling with something. Some people, they will tell me that they are struggling with essay, and the question I will ask them is this: how many essays have you written? And they will say they've not even written anything. You have not, you don't even know you are struggling with something yet until you have tried to write something. So you need to write an essay first. Okay, so you learn, you go through a lesson like this, you learn how to write essay, and then you write something, even if it's one paragraph you're able to come up with in 1 hour. Write something before you tell your teacher or before you tell me that you are struggling with something. You need to first write. Hope you get my point. So back to my issue here. Components of a good essay: the introduction, the main body, and the conclusion. These are the things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to writing your essay. Now, point number 3 is that what? Before you write your essay, okay? Before you write your essay, you need to take some time to study the essay question and generate ideas. Okay? Study the essay question and do what? And generate ideas as to what you want to write. Or let's put it this way: study the essay question, generate ideas, and plan your essay. That is the first thing that you would do. Okay, when it comes to writing an essay, take some time to what? To study the essay question, generate ideas, and plan your essay. So when we say generate ideas and plan your essay, what are we saying? We are saying that will take time to think about the question and ask yourself, what will I write as my point? What will I write in paragraph 2? What will I write in paragraph 3? Okay? And if I want to write a 5-paragraph essay, what will I write in paragraph 4? Okay? I usually advise that people write 4 paragraphs essay. That one is less stressful, okay? And it helps to give better cohesion to your work. 4-paragraph essay. So paragraph 2 and paragraph 3 will be the main body paragraphs. And then paragraph 1 is the introduction and paragraph 4 is the conclusion, okay? But if you write 5-paragraph essay, it's still okay. You are not going to lose marks for writing a 5-paragraph essay. You can do a 5-paragraph essay if you want. So the first thing you do, again, is to what? Is to study the essay question, generate ideas for your essay, and plan your essay. Plan your essay means what? Have a draft of what you want to put in paragraph 2. Have a draft of what you want to put in paragraph 3. Maybe one sentence. Just write in one sentence. What will I put in paragraph 2? Write in one sentence. What will I put in paragraph 3? You're going to see me do it now. I'm going to write an essay for you very soon. Okay? And then after planning your essay, what will you now do? The next step is to now write the word, the first part. What is the first part of your essay? The first part of your essay is the word, is the introduction. That is the first part of your essay. The first part of your essay is the word, is the introduction. Okay? Now, let me say something quickly about introduction, and then I'm going to go into my essay example. A good introduction must, these are the qualities of a good introduction, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to write this down in your book, or just take a snapshot of this thing as I'm typing it. Number 1, must contain 2 or more, let me just say 2 or more sentences. A good introduction must contain what? 2 or more sentences. Do not write a 1-sentence introduction. If you write a 1-sentence introduction, your score will not exceed band 6.0. Your writing score will not exceed band 6.0. That's just it. Okay? Do not write a 1-sentence introduction. The second thing about a good essay introduction is that what? Your essay introduction must paraphrase the question prompt. Okay? It must paraphrase the word, paraphrase the question prompt. I'm going to show you what that means later on when I treat examples. And then number 3 is it must contain a thesis statement. Okay? It could be a 1 statement, it could be a clause, It could be 2 sentences, whatever. There must be a kind of thesis statement in your word, in your introduction. Somebody is saying, I don't know what is the meaning of thesis statement. Don't worry, we'll get there. Relax. We're going to get there. Okay. So these are the components of a good essay introduction. Components of a good word, of a good essay introduction. Now, let me show you some essay examples. You are going to see all these things that I just talked about now. You see this PDF file? It contains a compilation of 64 essays from many of my students that I've just edited some of them and I've used them as compilation for this book. So here you're going to see lots of essays. You have lots of cause and effect essay. I'm going to share this book with you in the WhatsApp group so that you can download it and study it. You have about 5 cause and effect essays. You have 7 cause and solution essays. You have advantage, disadvantage essay. You have about 7 of them. You have opinion essay. Opinion essays are very many here. Very, very many. About 16 of them. You have outweigh essay. Can you see outweigh essay? You have discussion essay. Discussion essays too are many. Then you have double question essay. Okay? So let me just pick some of them. Let me just show you some of them. Look at this first example here. This is a cause and effect essay. You can see some of them have been highlighted, colored. You can see, look at this cause and effect essay. Nowadays, people tend to have their own business because of the modern world. Why do they need this? That is the reason. That is the cause. That's why this thing is called cause and effect. Effect means what are the risks? So this thing is referring to the effect. Okay, so this is a cause and effect essay. So what do I do? My first part is the introduction. You see this part that is in yellow. This is what I call the question prompt that has been paraphrased. I put it in yellow. And that's what you're going to see in the majority of all the examples in this book. You look at the second example too. You can see that there's yellow and pink in the first paragraph. Look at the third one too, yellow and pink. Fourth one, yellow and pink. Fifth one, yellow and pink. Look at this. Can you see that pattern here? So that yellow and pink thing, you are going to see it all over. The yellow part generally represents the paraphrase of the question prompt. And the pink part represents the what? The thesis. So if you are writing a cause and effect essay now, your thesis basically is going to mention one cause and one effect. So if you look at this one here now, the major reason for this, that was the cause, is the increase in the financial demands and needs of people. That is the cause. Now look at the next sentence. However, it is important to note that for entrepreneurship to achieve this goal of increased income, there are some risks. In other words, there are risks. So this person did not mention the risk. It just tells us that, okay, there are some risks to watch out for and to deal with. So this is a thesis sentence. This second part that is color pink is a thesis. The first part in yellow is the paraphrase of the question prompt. And you can see that this introduction has what? It has more than 2 sentences. This is sentence 1 ends here, sentence 2 ends here, sentence 3 ends here, and sentence 4. So this introduction has 4 sentences. This introduction has what? 4 sentences. So all the essays here, they follow that pattern. Okay, let me jump to another one. Look at opinion essay. In the modern world, it is no longer necessary to use animals for food, clothing, or medicine. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So this is an opinion essay. Anytime you see, do you agree or disagree, or to what extent do you agree or disagree? That's an opinion essay. And look at it here. Introduction contains our paraphrase of the question prompt. According to some experts, advances in science and technology today have made it unnecessary to use animals to produce food, clothes, or drugs. Can you see paraphrase of the question prompt? When you say paraphrase the question prompt, what we are saying is that say the same thing that is in the question prompt. This first sentence here is the question prompt. Say that same thing, but change some words. Do some rearrangement. And that's what they've done here. They are basically presenting the same idea that is in the question prompt. Okay? So the thesis now says what? For an opinion essay, for your thesis, you must clearly state your position. You either tell us, I agree, or you tell us, I disagree. In this case, this person says, I do not agree to this view. And this essay will explain my position in detail. That's thesis. Okay? I usually prefer a more detailed thesis. Look at this example here. This opinion essay, this person gives us a more detailed thesis. I believe that government is better positioned and equipped to provide people with quality health services at affordable rates. So this person gives us a more detailed thesis. Okay, it's more detailed than this first one here. Okay, let me show you another one that is even much more detailed. Look at this one here. This question says the international community must act immediately to ensure that all countries reduce their consumption of fossil fuels. To what extent do you agree? Look at the thesis. I fully agree with this suggestion because, so you see, this thesis here, the person tells us his position. What is his position? He fully agrees. And then he now gives us the reason. That one is the most detailed thesis. That one is the best. That is the best type of thesis for opinion essay. A thesis where you give your opinion and you mention one or two reasons. Okay, that is the best. And if you are writing IELTS academic, this is the kind of thesis that I recommend that you give. If you are taking IELTS academic, it's going to increase your chance of getting band 7.0 or more. Okay, so please take note of that. So you have lots of examples of what's it called, essay questions here that would be a guide for you. Interesting enough, recently one of my students told me that they gave her a question from this book. One of the essays in this book came out in her own exam. So you might be lucky that you're going to come across one of the questions in this book. So take time to study this book. I'm going to share it with you in the group, and then you should study it. Now, let's go to one. I'm going to write one essay now. I'm going to write one essay now so that you're going to see the way I do the planning and the process of writing. Let me share my screen with you and take you back to IELTS online tests. Let's use one of the essay questions in the IELTS online test library. So you just go to IELTS online tests. Let me type it out for you. IELTSonlinetest.com. Once you go to the site, IELTSonlinetest.com, you now go to IELTS writing. You're going to see a section. You're going to see a section that says IELTS writing. So look at it here. Come to IELTS exam library. You come to IELTS exam library first. IELTS exam library. And then you look for IELTS writing test. So I'm going to select IELTS writing tests. IELTS writing tests. Okay. And then it's going to bring me to the page. So I can see my exam library here. So here we have different exams. January 20. This is IELTS mock test 2025. So I can pick any of these and practice. Let me just pick the first one. January writing practice. So what I want to do is just task 2. So I'm just going to pick task 2. That's what I want to practice with. I want to practice with task 2, and then I'm going to select start now. So essay writing is called task 2. Now look at this question, everybody. Let me see who knows what this question type is. Who can tell me? What is this question type? Some people think that physical strength is more important for success in sports, while other people think that mental strength is more important. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. What kind of essay is this? Who can tell me? What kind of essay is this? Is this a cause and effect essay, or is this cause and solution, or is this advantage, disadvantage, or is it opinion essay, or is it discussion essay, or is it double question essay, or is it outweigh essay? Who can tell me? I want you to type your answer in the Zoom chat. What kind of essay question is this? What kind of essay question is this? What kind of essay question is this? Okay, I can see some responses here. Okay, you guys have tried. You have tried based on what I said. This is actually a discussion essay. It's not an opinion essay. Anytime you see this sentence here, this sentence that they wrote here, Discuss both views and give your opinion. What you are dealing with is a discussion essay. Okay? Don't say that because they wrote opinion here. If you remember what I said earlier on, what I said is that anytime you see, do you agree or disagree? That's what I said. I said, anytime you see, do you agree or disagree? What you are dealing with is a word, is an opinion essay. I intentionally did not use that word opinion when I was talking about opinion essay. Okay? So the fact that you are seeing opinion here does not mean that this is an opinion essay. No, it's not an opinion essay. This is actually a discussion essay. Okay? Discuss both views and give your opinion. That is the question tag for opinion essays. That is the question tag for what? For opinion essay. So this is what I'm going to do here. So usually whenever I want to write essays like this, I'll just come here. I will copy my question. Okay. I will copy my question and paste it inside my answer box. Now, remember the step one. What is the step one here when it comes to writing a good essay? The first step is to what? Plan your essay. Okay, study the essay question and do what? Plan your essay. So if you look at this essay question here now, what are the main points in this essay question? Physical strength is a very important point here. So physical strength is important for success. Success in what? Success in sports. Sports. What are the things included in sports? Athletics, football, basketball, track and field events, okay? All types of sporting events. Physical strength is important for success, while others think that mental strength is more important. In other words, they are comparing mental strength and physical strength. So for a discussion essay, in paragraph 2, you discuss one view. In paragraph 3, you discuss another view. Okay? And then in paragraph 4, you give your conclusion. Now, the question is this: which view should I discuss in paragraph 2? Which view should I discuss in paragraph 3? There are two views here. What are the two views for this essay question, this particular essay question? Physical strength is more important. That is viewpoint 1. The second viewpoint is mental strength is more important. That is viewpoint 2. And then final part is our what? Conclusion. So I will just put here in conclusion. I always like to end my essay with this, in conclusion. Now look at it. How do I know the one to put first? I can decide to put mental strength first. I can decide to put physical. Anyone can go first. But which one should go first? For me to demonstrate good cohesion, this is what I advise. You need to pick one position. Okay? Pick one position. Okay? So what is the position I want to pick? For me, I'm going to pick the position of mental strength. I personally believe that mental strength is more important. Okay? So if mental strength is my position, that means I'm going to put mental strength in paragraph 3. Okay? So that is what I recommend. The position that you support should be in paragraph 3. Okay? The position, when it comes to a discussion essay, the position that you support should be in paragraph 3. That is what I advise to help you to demonstrate good cohesion. It helps you to get a good score. Okay? The position that you support should be where? Should be in paragraph 3, should be in the third paragraph. What will be in the second paragraph? The position that you don't support. What will be in the first paragraph? Your introduction. And what will be in the fourth paragraph? What will be in paragraph 4? Your conclusion. Hope you get my point. Let me see your message if you are still with me. If you are still... All right, so you guys, like I said, I was trying to address the issue of supporting both positions. Somebody says, okay, what if I want to write on both sides? So for example, somebody say, okay, for example, for this question now, somebody can say, okay, what if I think that both views are important? Both mental and physical strength are important. Then, like I said, it's a little bit more complicated. Okay, so what you do for that kind of situation is that you can put them in any order. Okay, so if you are saying that both are important, then you need to clearly state that in your introduction. And then after writing the second paragraph, indicate towards the end of that paragraph why you think it is important. After writing the third paragraph, indicate towards the end of that third paragraph why you think that issue is also what? Important. So you are supporting both. Do you get my point now? And then you now write your conclusion. You understand? But for me, I think it's better to pick one and stick to that one. Pick one extreme and stick to it. And that's what I'm going to do here. So, like I said, the position that you do not support should show up in paragraph 2. Okay? Then the second thing is that that position that you do not support should be shorter. Should be shorter. shorter. Should be shorter than the position that you support. What do I mean? If I want to write my paragraph for this issue of physical strength now, I'll most likely write maybe 4 sentences or at most 5 sentences. But when it comes to the issue of mental strength, I'll most likely write 6 sentences or 7 sentences. That makes it longer. So my paragraph 3 should be longer than my paragraph 2. To show that, okay, paragraph 3 is the one where I am actually supporting. It's the one where I'm presenting my position. That is part of what? Good cohesion. Good cohesion. Somebody is saying, this thing of cohesion you are saying, what does it mean? Let me just say something about that quickly. This issue of cohesion. When it comes to IELTS essay writing, there are 4 things that will be used to assess your essay. Assessment criteria. There are 4 assessment criteria. Number 1 is called task response. The first criteria is called task response. The second one is called cohesion. The third one is called grammar. And the fourth one is called vocabulary. These are the 4 things that IELTS examiners will use to assess your essay. Okay? So when I say cohesion, I'm referring to this number 2. Cohesion. That's what I'm referring to. But I'm not going to go into the details of that in this lesson. All right. So now let's come back to our essay that we are trying to write. So this is, I'm trying to plan my essay here. Okay. I've done the first part of my planning, in terms of, okay, what I want to put in each of the paragraphs. Now, what are the ideas? The next thing is to generate ideas. The first thing I need to think of is, okay, why is physical strength more important? More important for what? Success in sports. Physical strength. Why is it more important for success in sports? Okay, so the reason I'm going to present is that word. Physical effort is what? Involved. That is my reason number 1. That is the main reason I'm going to present here. Physical effort is involved. When it comes to what? When it comes to sporting activities, you need to, exercise your physical abilities. For example, somebody who is into weightlifting will need to exercise their physical ability to carry heavy objects. Somebody who is into running, 100-meter race, 400-meter relay race, you need to exercise your leg muscles. So it involves what? Physical effort. So the stronger you are physically, the greater your chances of what? Of success. So that is the reason I'm going to present in this aspect of what? Physical effort. 1 point is enough. Somebody can say, what if I have 2 points? No problem. You can present the 2 points. But keep in mind that what? If you present 2 points in paragraph 2, that means you're going to have to present 3 points in paragraph 3 or even 4 points. 4 points is the best, because remember what I said earlier on that word. Your paragraph 3, which contains the viewpoint that you support, that paragraph 3 should be longer than paragraph 2. So let me just leave this paragraph 2 as it is now. Physical effort is involved. Now for paragraph 3, what am I going to write as what will be my idea for paragraph 3? Okay, mental strength is needed for what? Maintaining discipline. Okay? Number 2, needed for what? Overcoming challenges and failures. Mental strength is needed. You understand? To overcome challenges, to overcome mistakes, to overcome failures, mental strength is what? Mental strength is needed. You get my point? So those are the 2 points I'm going to present in this aspect of what? Of mental strength. Okay? So I have come up with my ideas. These are the points I'm going to present in my paragraphs. So what is the next thing I'm going to do? The next thing I'm going to do now is to what? Okay, let me even ask. So I have written, I've planned, I've generated my ideas, and I have a plan of what will be in paragraph 2 and what will be in paragraph 3. What is the next thing I'm going to do now? Who can tell me? Let me see who has been following me so far. What is the next step? What is the next step? Who remembers? What is the next step? I want you to type your answer in the chat box. Type your response in the Zoom chat. What is the next thing for me to do now? What is the next thing for me to do? I have written my, what's it called? I have planned my essay. I have an idea of what I want to put in paragraph 2. I have an idea of what I want to put in paragraph 3. What is the next thing to do now, ladies and gentlemen? Who can tell me? Anybody? Anybody who wants to tell me what is the next thing to do? I'm waiting for your response, you guys. Who wants to tell me? Okay. Somebody says, highlight on your points in paragraph 3. No, that's not my next point. Somebody says conclusion. No, conclusion is not the next thing. The next thing to do is to write my introduction. That is the next thing. The next thing to do is to write my introduction. You see this thing I wrote here? This thing I put here in the first part of it, that's not the introduction. No. I just copied the question prompt. This thing I wrote here is the question prompt. I've not written my introduction yet. Okay? So the next thing I'll do now is to write my introduction. After writing my introduction, I'll develop my paragraph 2, make it more detailed. After that, I'll write my paragraph 3, make it more detailed. And then after that, I'll write my conclusion. That's it. Okay? So let's write my introduction now. What do I put in my introduction? Remember what I said in my introduction? You paraphrase the question prompt. So sum, what is the paraphrase for sum? A number of, that's my paraphrase for sum. When you want to paraphrase sum, you can say a number of. You can say few. Don't say many. Don't use the word many. Many is different from some. Don't use many as a paraphrase for some. Avoid that. Okay? So people, I can say individuals. A number of individuals. Individuals. Think. Instead of saying think, I will say argue. Okay? Argue. A number of individuals argue that physical strength is more important for success. So instead of saying success, I can say excelling is more important for one to excel in sporting competitions. Okay? Can you see my paraphrase, everybody? A number of individuals argue that physical strength is more important for one to excel in sporting competitions. Whereas others suggest that other people suggest that mental strength plays a greater role. Can you see my paraphrase of the question prompt? I have paraphrased the question prompt. A number of individuals is a paraphrase for some people. Think is a paraphrase for argue. Okay? Physical strength. I did not paraphrase physical strength. Let's just leave it as it is. Okay. Physical. There are some words I don't bother paraphrasing. If I see that the word is very, very important in the question prompt, most times I leave it as it is. Like in this case now, physical strength, mental strength, I usually leave it. If I see television, for example, another word I don't usually paraphrase is television. If I see television in my essay question, I don't usually paraphrase it. Television, computer, mobile phone. I don't paraphrase them because they are, I personally find it hard to paraphrase words like that. So, physical strength is more important for one to excel in sporting competitions, whereas whereas other people suggest that mental strength plays a greater role. Okay, so that's my paraphrase of the question prompt. Now, what is the next thing I'm going to write? Let me see who has been following me. Let me ask another question. So I have written my paraphrase of the question prompt. What is the next thing I'm going to write now in my introduction? I'm still writing introduction though. What is the next thing to write in my introduction now? What is the next thing? After writing my paraphrase of the question prompt, what is the next thing? Who can tell me? Anybody? What is the next thing to write? What is the next? I want you to write your answer in the chat box, in the Zoom chat. Let me see. What is the next thing to write as part of my introduction? What is the next thing to write? Thank you very much. Thesis. That is what I'm going to write next. Very good. Thesis statement. I'm going to write my thesis statement. So in writing my thesis statement, I'm going to recall that my position is what? Mental strength. That is my position. So for a discussion essay, when writing your thesis, you must clearly state your position. Okay? And usually for a discussion essay, this is how I usually like to put it. This essay will discuss both views. Okay? And explain in detail why mental strength is more powerful. Okay, or let me not use the word powerful. Why mental strength is more essential. Okay, or let me put it this way. Why, and explain in detail why it is more important for athletes and sports people to focus more on developing and maintaining their mental strength. Can you see that? That one is longer. That one is longer. This essay will discuss both views and explain in detail why it is more important for athletes and sports people to focus more on developing and maintaining their what? Mental strength. Can you see the way I'm correcting? After writing each sentence, read through it and try and correct some spelling mistakes. Okay, now paragraph 2. Let's move to paragraph 2 now. So what will I say here? On the one hand, physical strength is essential because all sporting activities involves physical effort. For example, individuals, let's put it this way, footballers use their legs to run and kick, to run and to kick the ball, the football. Let me use the word soccer. Most countries, they use the word soccer to refer to this particular sport. Soccer players use their, can you see spelling error here? Spelling of their, T-H-E-I-R. Use their legs to run and kick the football. Okay? The stronger they are physically, the faster they can run, and the greater, okay, let me put it, and this way, and with that, they will be able to outrun their opponents and score more goals. The faster they can run, and okay, let me just leave it that way. The faster they can run, and with that, they will be able to outrun their components and score more goals. GOALS. So you see, I'm taking time to read my sentences and make corrections as I'm going on. That's it. Okay? So physical strength is physical strength is essential because all sporting activities involve physical effort. Another example is weightlifting. Okay? Individuals with strong biceps and triceps do well in such events because they are able to lift heavy objects. Okay? So you see here, I've talked about what? Physical strength. That what? This issue of physical strength is important because what? Because it involves lots of what? Physical effort. And then I gave examples. Soccer players. I gave another example here. Weightlifting. Okay? Now let's move to paragraph 3. However, mental strength is, or let me start with, since I use this particular phrase here, on the one hand, okay, I'm going to use his partner in this third paragraph. On the other hand, okay, mental strength helps athletes. Mental strength is more important because it helps athletes to maintain, or let me put it this, to demonstrate tenacity and determination. Okay? So this is, what's it called? You see the way I'm starting my paragraph 3. On the one hand, on the one hand means you want to present one viewpoint. Then on the other hand means you want to present the opposite viewpoint. These two combinations are commonly used when it comes to discussion essays. In paragraph 2, you present one viewpoint and you start by writing that phrase, on the one hand. And then after finishing with that paragraph, you move to paragraph 3, you write, on the other hand. I want you to take note of my spelling of other, O-T-H-E-R. I did not write O-R-D-E-R. O-R-D-E-R is a completely different word. Okay? On the other hand, mental strength is more important, can you see repeated words? Because it helps athletes demonstrate tenacity and determination. Okay? With these two things, with these two components, athletes, let me use another word, sports people can continue to practice, okay, and cultivate their sporting skills. Okay? So you see the way I'm constructing my sentences. Following, the ideas that I wrote. Remember what I did earlier on? The ideas I wrote at the beginning. I want you to notice that as I'm writing my essay, something is showing up at the bottom. Can you see what is showing up at the bottom, everybody? What is this thing showing up at the bottom? The word count, the number of words. It is very likely that you're going to see it also on your exam day. You're going to see something that's going to be showing you the word count. Okay? If you don't see word count on your computer, let me show you another way to check the word count. If you look at this thing I've written, you just count the number of lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That means from this my typing, I'm writing 13 words, or let's just say 11 to 13 words per line. That's the way I'm writing. That's the way this thing is showing me. If I'm writing 11 words per line, how many words do I need to write to get to 250? If I'm writing 11 words per line, that means I need to write about 25 words. I'm sorry, I need to write about 25 lines to get to 250. That's it. So I just need to count the number of words in line 1, and then I'll just count how many lines. So look at it, I've written how many lines so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm not going to count this one. 12, 13, 14. I've written 14 lines so far. And my target is to write 25 lines. So I still have a lot to write. So let me just continue writing. So that's another way to check your word count. You count the number of lines and then you multiply it by the number of lines, number of words in one line, and then you multiply it by the number of lines you have written. That's how you check your word count. Okay? So let me continue. So on the other hand, mental strength is more important because it helps athletes demonstrate tenacity and determination. With these two components, sports people can continue to practice and cultivate their sporting skills. Okay? Aside, in addition to physical strength, okay, athletes need to be what? Smart, okay, positive minded, okay, and what? Optimistic, that they will be able, optimistic that they can overcome any challenge that shows up during their sporting events or competition. They need to be able to think ahead, and deal with problems before they show up. Skills like these are more mental than physical. Thus, building up one's physical strength will not significantly contribute to their development. Okay? So, can you see what I'm doing here? Can you see that so far, these are, what's it called? Paragraph 2 is looking longer than paragraph 2. Paragraph 3 is already looking longer than paragraph 2. Paragraph 2, how many lines are right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 lines. Look at paragraph 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've reached line 9 now. This one should be they, T-H-E-Y. They need to be able to think ahead and deal with problems before they show up. Okay? Mental strength also helps sports people interact with their team members, okay, and demonstrate good team spirit. This is essential for team sports like soccer, football, basketball, relay race, and volleyball. Or let me put it this way, volleyball and many more. Such events involve communicating effectively with your team members when you are on the pitch in a way that helps you score more goals and defeat the what? What's it called? The opponent or the opposing team. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are following me. I hope you guys are still with me. Let me see your message if you are still with me. Can you see that my paragraph 2 is already, I'm sure it has exceeded 250 words by now. In fact, look at the bottom now. You can see that at the bottom is telling me 306 words. That shows you I've gone above what's it called, 250 words. Let me see. Let's count the number of lines. Remember, I think earlier on I said 11 words per line is what I'm writing. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Can you see? So I've already exceeded my 250 words. I don't need to worry myself about number of words again. This thing that says write at least means you must not write less than 250 words. You can write 250, you can write 270, you can write 280, you can write 300, you can write 400, you can write, if you like, write 1 million. But I'm sure you are not thinking of writing 1 million words. You are not even thinking of writing 500 words. You don't have that time. Okay? What you should focus on is, I need to write above 250. That's your focus. Okay? So once you see that you have written above 250, you need to now start thinking of how to bring your essay to a close. Now, let me begin to work on bringing my essay to a close. So in this paragraph 3, I need to now present, look at this thing. This thing says, give your opinion. Can you see that? It says what? It says, give your word. Give your opinion. So somewhere, I need to clearly state what my opinion is. I need to clearly do what? I need to clearly state what my opinion is. So I'm going to write it somewhere here now. Let me put it this way. I'm going to put it in this paragraph 3. Let me try and see where I can put it as my opinion. So in this paragraph 3, this is the first point. This is the first point. Okay? This is the second point here. So here, let me just make this one my second point. Okay? In addition to physical strength, I believe, can you see that? So by saying that I believe that, what have I done? By using this particular clause, I believe that, what is that? That is my word, my opinion. I'm giving my opinion. So this paragraph that I support should not only present a point about, okay, that position being the right position, it should also present the idea that, okay, this is what my position, this is what my view is. I believe that athletes need to be smart, positive-minded, optimistic, and optimistic that they can overcome any challenge that shows up during their sports event or competition. Okay? In addition, okay, well, let me just say, furthermore, Athletes, athletes with high levels of mental strength find it easier to overcome failure and bounce back. Okay, when unpleasant events occur during what? During competitions. Okay, so can you see paragraph 3? Paragraph 3 is so long that, I mean, so many things have been presented there. About 3 points or 4 points have been presented there. So let me write my conclusion. In conclusion, physical strength is essential for all individuals. Individuals involved in sporting events. It is, however, not more important than mental strength. Mental strength helps athletes stay on course and it helps them overcome every challenge that may show up whenever they are on the field or on the track. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my word. This is my conclusion. And you can see that this essay is 365 words. Somebody says, is that not too long? Will you not lose marks? No, I will not lose marks. You are not going to lose marks for writing more than 250 words, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so can you see the way I've written my essay now? Good introduction. Why? Because it contains a paraphrase of the question prompt. Okay, and it also contains a thesis statement. This second part is my thesis. And then we have our word, paragraph 2, that presents the viewpoint that I do not support. Okay, and then we have paragraph 3 that presents the viewpoint that I support. And you can see that it's longer. And then paragraph 4, we have our word. We have our conclusion. Okay, so this is how you practice writing your essay. And after writing your essay, what should you do? You just copy the entire thing, copy it, and then you come and send it to me on WhatsApp for me to assess. And then we're going to assess, we're going to make corrections, we're going to send you feedback so that you will know what areas to work on, whether you need to work on your grammar or your vocabulary or your task response or your cohesion. And as you do that, by the time you do 6 to 7 essays like this, your writing skills will improve. We send you the corrections, you effect the correction, and then we will send you another essay to write on. And then you do that 6 to 7 times, your essay writing skills will improve significantly. I hope you get my point, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to wrap it up on that note. I hope you have learned something from this class. Okay?